Hello, everybody out there. I think I'm live now. Let me just adjust the screen. ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जा रहा है, right? ये I think this is fine. Hi, Shubham. शुभम कंफर्म करो स्क्रीन सही लग रहा है आपको? I mean, you can read the text, right? Once you confirm, I will start. Hi, Anshu. It's fine, right? Okay, perfect. So बस इतना होना चाहिए कि like you can see the screen. Obviously, आप ये देख चुके हैं पहले भी पेपर, so it should not be much of a problem, huh? Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the session with me, Shabana Shahab. We are going to take a look at a detailed look at CAT slot 3. आज ही आंसर की आया है. There has been a flurry of excitement. And so we decided to conduct this analysis session. अभी शाम को slot 1, slot 2 भी हो गया होगा, I'm sure. We are doing slot 3 now. Yes, Shubham. Okay, cool. Sahil, Pahuldeep. Okay, guys. So when the answer key came, I took the sheets, I took the answer keys, and then I started solving slot 3. So slot 3 wala aapke samne leke aayi hu analysis, and I think after taking a good look at slot 3, I came to the conclusion that the paper was pretty doable. I won't call it easy, okay? I would give it a straight 7 on a scale of 0 to 10. So the passages were pretty dense, they were long, they were definitely not like the passages of 2017, 18, 19. Usme chote chote the. All these 4 passages were like 6 paragraphs, 5 to 6 paragraphs, and isme dense bhi kafi tha. But the questions were absolutely doable. And more so, the game was of selection. So this is what I saw, that if a student had not selected the questions wisely, there were some guzzlers also, जिसमें आपका time खा रहा था. So when I started solving this paper, I just went through all the RCs and the questions, and I saw that in every RC, 2 to 3 questions were the low hanging fruits. And that is exactly what I did. अभी हम वही डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं. Score 40, Gaurang Vishnoy, good. Ha Anshu scored 79 in total. Okay, 79 is a good score. Looks 968, profile is 968, general category non-engineer. Anshu, I would still wait for the result because normalization may happen. So no need to get fretful about it right now. कि भाई मेरा होगा कि नहीं होगा. Unfair life, Gaurang. Seriously, -2 in DI, 40 in VARC, 36 in QA, -2 in DI. Yes, बहुत unfair life. I agree with you. DI ने तो हमारा बैंड बजा दिया. Okay. All right, guys. So those of you who had slot 3 would find this paper familiar, and they would understand whatever I'm saying when I take you through these questions. Ha, Pahuldeep? Scored 90 overall, okay? 35 VARC, 30 LRDI, 25 quant. Thank you, ma'am. Your tips really worked. Okay, thank you so much for saying that, Pahuldeep, but the actual credit goes to the students. Last year, you scored 95 percentile in DILR, Gorang. Okay, that's a sad thing, actually. This time it went in minus. Okay, guys. If you have settled down, we can just get started with the session with the questions. I'm just going to show you proper analysis. I'm going to give you a proper analysis on, like, what questions we could select, how to handle these passages. And then once we go over to the VA section, I'll show you what was easy, what was moderate, and what was tough in that section too. In that particular area, that zone. Chale? Anshu and Gorang, Bahuldeep, आप सब slot 3 के थे. That's what I'm guessing. That's why you're here. Shubham, you scored 20 in VARC. आंसर की से पहले very worried I will be able to clear the cutoff. मैंने बहुत तंग भी किया आपको मैसेजेस से, बट आई थिंक मेरा कट ऑफ क्लियर है. बिल्कुल नॉर्मलाइजेशन का वेट करो शुभम. आई एम श्योर यू विल गेट इट. ओके Gaurang. Yes, Bahuldeep. All right, guys, perfect. So let's move on now with this paper. So slot 3 का जब मैंने ये खोला भाई, तो पहला पैसेज ना, all the 3 passages I just saw, I just kind of gave a quick glance and I saw कि चारों passages तो भाई थोड़े वो हैं, tough nuts to crack. ओके, ओबीसी है शुभम, फिर तो हो जाएगा आपका. वेरी कूल, ग्रेट. ओके, द फर्स्ट पैसेज वाज समथिंग ऑन नेचर हैज ऑल अलोंग yielded her flesh to humans. ओके, अभी आपको एक मजेदार चीज बताती हूं मैं, आप चाहे मानो या मत मानो. When I solved the paper today with my timer on, of course, I did not read any of the passages like in entirety. And the questions were so good, like 2 questions, in some passages 3 also. The questions were so direct that it was very easy for me to handle those questions without actually wasting a lot of time and getting embroiled in the passages. Okay, so like if we take a look at this first passage, Shubham and Gaurang and Pahuldeep and the others out there, nature has all along yielded her flesh to humans. मैंने exactly कैसे किया, I'm going to show you. First, we took nature's materials as food, fibers, and shelter. Then we learned to extract raw materials. अच्छा भाई, nature को exploit कर रहे हैं. So is the author sitting here with a sad tone? No, but then what happens? He comes over here. Now bios is yielding us her mind. We are taking her logic. By bios is with capital letter. But it's not an acronym for something. तब चारों letters capital होते. So capital B, BIOS, is it talking about biosystem, bioengineering, biodiversity? What exactly is it? As a student, I tried to analyze this. तो मुझे ये clearly समझ में नहीं आया कि भाई कहाँ ढूंढूं, कहाँ देखूं. So I went down to the second paragraph, okay? Because now I understood that the author does not have a sad tone. He's not going to lament over what we humans are doing with nature, how we are messing her up. No, he's talking about something else. So बड़ी छतरी is nature, लेकिन भाई एस्पेक्ट क्या है, एंगल क्या है नेचर का, समथिंग टू डू विद बायोस. वो बायोस क्या है वो अभी पता चल जाएगा थोड़ी देर में, नहीं भी पता चले तो जाने दो. Okay, now go to the second paragraph and see clockwork logic. The logic of machines will only build simple contraptions to a truly complex system such as this. We now see that no logic except biologic. अच्छा समझ में आ गया, जो भी है ये bios, that is something to do with biologic. लॉजिक नेचर के इसमें अप्लाई लॉजिक, टेक हर माइंड. अभी तक हमने फ्लैश लिया, खाना लिया, कपड़े लिए, ये सब लिया. नाउ वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट इनसाइड हर माइंड. So how are we getting help regarding that? Who is helping us? Biologic is helping us. बस यहां तक जब मैंने पढ़ा ना, ये मैग्नीट्यूड, ये वाला लाइन, I understood that the author is being scientific, technical. This passage is factual. He's talking something about bios, some system, biologic. Okay, and then what I did was I just started going down. I started going down on, like, the paragraphs. If you just see the paragraphs, wait here, look here. It is an astounding discovery. Okay, fine, no need to read the paragraph because, as I said, I'm going to just check the questions. Astounding discovery, and then I understood that he's talking in a positive way. Fine. Then we have reason to believe yet more can be synthesized and made into something new, yet at same time imported. This is talking about some examples: milk cows, carrots, domesticated plants. Fine. I'm not getting into this paragraph. Let me go down further. Genetic engineering is precisely what cattle breeders do. Okay, genetic engineering, boot camp के time से मुझे याद है genetic engineering हमने पढ़ा था. We had learned about eugenics, humans, animals, प्लांट, सब में ये जो जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग की जाती है, ठीक है, मैन मेड इंजीनियरिंग. सो आई अंडरस्टूड दिस पैराग्राफ कि होगा क्या. Fine. And then the last paragraph, the overlap of the mechanical and the lifelike increases year by year. That's enough. No need to check that further. I go down to the questions. I'm going to show you this now. Question number 1, very doable because it is inference. Specific sentence inference. Okay, let's check the questions. Question number 2. Which of the following sets of words and phrases best serves as keywords? This should be good. This should be easy. I'm going to do this definitely. Question number 3. None of the following statements is implied by the arguments of the passage except. Okay, so this is true false wala, and this is like, I'll have to check random sentences. I may not do this. This is what I think to myself. Okay, then I go down to the fourth one. Again, there is a sentence over here, and interpretation inference is asked. So I see in this passage, I need to do 3 questions. The fourth one, that is true false random, I'm not going to do. अब ये जो 3 क्वेश्चंस मैंने पिक किए हैं, ये एग्जैक्टली वैसा है जो मैंने क्लास में आपको बोला था जब मैं सैंपल देती थी आपको. मैं कहती थी कि जब आपको ना मिनी मिनी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड रीडिंग करना चाहिए, कब करना चाहिए? लेट्स से देयर इज अ पैसेज इन व्हिच देयर आर 2 स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस एंड 1 मेन आइडिया क्वेश्चन. दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट हैपेंड ओवर देयर. So when I saw that there are 3 questions that I'm going to do, उसमें से 2 specific हैं, एक main idea है. Why do I need to get into the depths of the passage? I just need to go over to those specific things and बस एक main idea ले लेना है मुझे. ठीक है? So I started with the main idea question. Fine. I'll take you over to that question now. देखो यहाँ. Which one of the following sets of words, phrases best serves as keywords to the passage? Keywords means connected with the essence. Now, when I talk about the essence, you can see here carrots and milk cows. I'll mark this over here. This is out. Main idea में carrots, milk cows. I saw these were examples given in 1 paragraph. Same goes for option 4. These 2 are out. It makes my work so much easier in an instant. I'm left with option 2 and 3. Now I can just see which one has more general words, more overall words, because we are talking about the essence. Nature, bios, technos, self-repair, Holsteins. Holstein kya hota hai? Even if you go to the passage, you'll see this is cattle from Holland. The whole passage is not about Holsteins. That is just another example. So this is obviously out. And my answer is this. Complex systems, biologic, bios हमने पढ़ा, bioengineering, that was there. Technologic and convergence. Last paragraph talks about things converging to a certain point. So this was a very easy question. I would call it a sitting duck, a low-hanging fruit. Okay. Then I went to question number 1. All right, guys. Question number 1 is, अभी मुझे main idea clear हो गया. That's why I attempted that first. मुझे पता है कैसा कैसा उसका flow है. I go over to question 1. The author claims that part of this bionic convergence is a matter of words. Okay. Which one of the following statements best expresses the point being made by the author? Last paragraph. How do I remember that this is there in the last paragraph? Because when I was doing my mini organized reading, I checked the first para and the last para. I just skimmed ऐसे words उसमें. And first line of every para हल्का हल्का देख लिया था मैंने. So last para should always echo in your mind. And मेरे दिमाग में ये तब से था कि अच्छा इसमें ना convergence and ये सब बोला है, meanings of mechanical and life and जो कुछ भी इसने last para में बोला है. So we go over to this sentence. यहाँ इसने बोला है part of this bionic is whatever both stretching. ठीक है? Now, how do we solve this question? We set our range. Range bole to I would start reading from the first line of the paragraph and read the entire paragraph to be doubly sure. Let me show you what I did. The overlap of the mechanical and the lifelike increases year by year. Okay, so mechanical is totally like, bios and जो कुछ भी आप system बना रहे हैं, right? Something which is not natural. And the lifelike increases, overlap. Things are overlapping. Venn diagram की तरह, there is an overlap zone. Okay. Then part of this bionic convergence, converge हो रहा है, is a matter of words. Oh, it's a matter of words. Matter of words बोले तो it's not clear. Matter of words, खाली बोलने के लिए है, something of that sort. Even if you are not clear about it, go further down in the paragraph and you'll be able to understand. The meanings of mechanical and life are both stretching until all complicated things can be perceived as machines, and all self-sustaining machines can be perceived as alive. Then there is a change of tone. Yet, I'm intrigued by that. सो यहाँ ऊपर बोला है इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ वर्ड्स, ये दोनों का मीनिंग्स अलग अलग दिखाने की कोशिश की जा रही है. मीनिंग्स ऑफ मैकेनिकल, ये इधर स्ट्रेच हो रहा है, ये इधर स्ट्रेच हो रहा है. येट बियॉन्ड सेमांटिक्स, right? So beyond the language part, two concrete trends are happening. What are the two concrete trends? Human made things are behaving more lifelike, robots are behaving more lifelike, life is becoming more engineered. So ye usme overlap, ye usme overlap, and there is some kind of blurriness over there. Ye kaun sa iska overlap area hai. The apparent veil between this, समझ में आ गया मुझे कि पैराग्राफ का फ्लो क्या है. This is so clear. उसने बोला है कि वर्ड्स में वी ट्राई टू शो दिस, वी ट्राई टू शो दिस, बट इन रियलिटी ओवरलैप हो रहा है. I go down to the options. Mechanical and life were earlier seen as opposite in meaning, but the difference between the two is increasingly blurred. That is exactly what he has captured. Go to option 2. Mechanical and life are words from different logical systems and are therefore fundamentally incompatible in meaning. Incompatible is totally out. Incompatible in meaning बोले तो है ही नहीं, overlap है ही नहीं. So this is totally ulta. Okay. So my first elimination is option 2. Then option 3. Bios and technos are both convergent forms of logic. Okay. But they generate meanings about the world that are mutually exclusive. चलो रख लेते हैं option 3. कुछ mutually exclusive बोला है, overlap बोला है. I'm a little confused. Okay. So options 1 and 3 are what I'm left with. Go to option 4. A bionic convergence indicates the meeting ground of genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. This is totally crap. I eliminate 4. So it's between 1 and 3. Now, if I check closely between 1 and 3, don't you think it's very easily said that, okay, option 1 is what the author is trying to say? कि पहले वो जो यहाँ पे पैराग्राफ में आया ना, yet, this word over here, yet. So this is what exactly is saying कि words में खींच रहे हैं, but it's becoming increasingly blurred and both the sections are overlapping. So that is why this question 1 was very easy. I would give it 5 on 5 if you're asking me the doability. Question 2 was again very easy. We are done with this. I go over to question 3. Question 3, I would happily skip because this question is going to take me time. So except bola hai, none of the following is implied by the arguments means 3 true hai, 1 false hai. None are implied, sub false hai, except. So 1 true. But whatever, even if I get this structure clear, 1 true, 3 false, whatever, it's going to take me time because I have to check the random sentences. And चारों sentences में आप देख लीजिए कोई भी वो name place वाला technique नहीं apply हो रहा है. What I told the students in my class was कि जब random verify करते हैं तो pick those options which have a name or a place or a date or a thing, कुछ भी capital में, then it becomes easy for you to go back and verify. मुझे तो चारों में कोई ऐसा दिख नहीं रहा, so overall verify करना है मुझे जाके इतने dense passage में अगर मैं घुस गई ये question लेके, it's going to take me 5 minutes as a student. So I would happily skip this. I go down to question number 4, which is again a darling. Question 4 अब आप देखिए, we have already done that last paragraph. Do I need to even go back now? Just check. I mean, ये तो हद ही हो गई. एक पैराग्राफ से 2 questions. एक main idea question. What more do you want CAT to do? So look at question number 4. The author claims that the apparent veil between this is this, okay? Which one of the following statements best expresses the point being made by the author here? अभी भाई देखो आप, let's eliminate. ठीक है, हमें इतना पता है कि इन दैट पैराग्राफ ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट सेमांटिक्स, लैंग्वेज जिसमें कि अलग अलग दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. स्टिल nowadays it's kind of overlapping, it's becoming blurred, पता ही नहीं चल रहा है कि कहाँ पे क्या है, because humans, the lifelike things are becoming more genetically engineered and the man-made things are becoming more lifelike. ये बोला है इसने. एक बार पढ़ करके उतना तो याद रह ही सकता है. जब मुझे याद रह सकता तो आपको तो रहेगा ही. ठीक है. Yes. So we go down to the options. Organic reality has crumpled under the veil of manufacturing. यहां पे एक टेक्निक लगाया गया था. I could see very clearly when I started reading the options. This crumpled was the attractive word technique. दोनों में ये दिया है. Why would any question setter pick that exact word and give you 2 options? Obviously आपको trap कर रहा है. Let's check the rest of the option. Organic reality has crumpled. under the veil of manufacturing, rendering the apparent and the real as the same being. ये this is word play. How can the apparent and the real be the same? No, वहां बोला है ऊपर में, go back to that and see. The apparent veil between the organic and the manufactured has crumpled. पहले एक पर्दा था दोनों के बीच, डिवीजन था, पार्टीशन था, that has crumpled, हट गया है वो, to reveal that the two really are and have always been of one being. Of one being और same being में बहुत फर्क होता है. Of one being means उनका रूट, उनका क्या क्या कहते हैं उसको, कनेक्शन इज लाइक ओवरऑल एक चीज है जिसमें से ये दो निकाले गए हैं. दिस इज व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू से. इट डजंट ट्रांसलेट टू दिस कि it's actually the same being. So I can see that in option 1 there is word play. I would eliminate that happily. Then go to option 4. The crumpling of the organic veil between apparent and manufactured reality reveals them to have the same being. Again, same being out. Okay, so 1 and 4 easily eliminated. I'm left with 2 and 3. Abhi 3 mein kya problem hai? Apparent reality and organic reality are distinguished by the fact that the former is manufactured. Maybe this is correct. Apparent reality is manufactured, but is this what the author is trying to say with the help of that veil thing? पर्दा हटना, हटा लो पर्दा, ओवरलैप हो गया, ये तो इसमें कोई सेंस आया ही नहीं. Right? So option 2 is much better. It wins because it has better words. Scientific advances, that is what the passage said, are making it increasingly difficult to distinguish between organic reality and manufactured reality. दोनों के बीच का क्रम्पल होके पर्दा हट रहा है and they are overlapping. So 3 questions out of this passage were very, very good and doable. So ये तीनों questions with mini organized reading would have taken you something like, I'll tell you, 2, 4, 6 and 1, 7. 7 minutes flat for this passage. So after doing this passage, I can, I kind of start calculating. अगर मुझे 6 से 7 मिनट इसमें लग रहा है, ठीक है, okay, cool. I can handle all the passages. Okay, 2, 2 और 3, 3 जो टेक्निक सिखाया था मैंने क्लास में, उस हिसाब से करके I can move on to wheel. Got it, guys? So this was passage 1. Now when we come down to passage 2, अभी ऑब्वियसली पहले मैं क्वेश्चंस देखती हूं हमेशा. सो इसमें जाकर के मैंने जब क्वेश्चंस चेक किया, आप देखिए मेरे साथ, which one of the following styles of research is most similar to the Orientalist scholars method? Now Orientalist scholars method is not the whole passage. This is just one paragraph. भाई पूरे में ओरिएंटलिस्ट की बात किया होगा इसने, लेकिन स्कॉलर्स मेथड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग मस्ट बी देयर इन वन पैराग्राफ. दैट मेक्स इट स्पेसिफिक. आई एम हैप्पी टू सी दिस क्वेश्चन. देन आई गो डाउन टू द सेकंड वन. इसमें जाके मैंने देखा भाई, इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द पैसेज ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू एक्सेप्ट, मर गए, ट्रू फॉल्स. लेकिन छोटे छोटे ऑप्शंस हैं. कभी कभी ये भी होता है कि ऑप्शंस बहुत वेग और जनरल टाइप के होते हैं, तो देखेंगे, इसको देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, रैंडम अगर होगा तो मैं तो चेक नहीं करूंगी. इट्स गोइंग टू टेक मी अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. सो व्हाट आई डू इज आई स्ट्रेट गो टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 नाउ. अभी मेरे दिमाग में है पहला करना है, सेकंड नहीं, थर्ड देख लो. इट कैन बी इन्फर्ड फ्रॉम द पैसेज दैट द ऑथर इज नॉट लाइकली टू सपोर्ट. ओ माय गॉड, अगेन दिस इज लाइक रैंडम मुझे दिख रहा है, लेकिन हैप्पी क्यों हूं मैं? क्योंकि इसके ऑप्शंस में ओरिएंटलिस्ट व्यू ऑफ एशिया, फर्स्ट वाले में टेक्नोलॉजी, टेक्निकल नॉलेज ऑफ द वेस्ट, name place animal thing, capital letters wala technique, I can pick these random things, go back and verify instantly. So I'm happy seeing this question. Okay, then I go down to the next one and I see it can be inferred that to gain a more accurate view of a nation's history, scholars should do bole to definitely bhai ye na conclusion of the passage. Author ka view kya hai? I'll take from the first and last paragraphs and I'm going to come up with the author's conclusion. Ya kya wo support karega, kya nahi suggest karega, kya conclude karega, kya nahi karega. Got it? So after seeing the questions, I know that 3 are kind of less devilish and one question that was the second one or something that looks pretty devilish to me. Dekhte hain waise. So for this passage, I'm going to do mini organized reading. Okay, I'm not going to do organized reading also. क्यों? क्योंकि questions ऐसे हैं. Fine, mini organized reading में I'm going to go back and check the first paragraph, the last paragraph, and अभी 1 minute, question 5 में हम थे ना. Let me go back to that. अभी आप देखिए कितनी आसानी से ये होता है. Okay. So again I'm saying guys, the paper was all about being smart. जिसने भी पैसेजेस, डेंस पैसेजेस को घुस के पढ़ने की और समझने की कोशिश की ना, वो तो बेचारा या तो जिंदा निकल नहीं पाया होगा, या आज उसका टोटल ये हो गया होगा, या फिर उस दिन भी उसके पसीने आ गए होंगे. गॉट इट? सो मैं ऐसी बेवकूफी तो करती नहीं हूं, मुझे इन टॉपिक्स पे रिसर्च नहीं करना है. ओके, कैट इज ऑल अबाउट डूइंग एवरीथिंग इन दोस 40 मिनट्स स्मार्टली. वही स्मार्टनेस उनको चाहिए फ्यूचर मैनेजर्स से. आपके पास रीम्स ऑफ पेपर विल कम, रिपोर्ट्स आर गोइंग टू कम. आप अगर एक एक चीज को लेकर के वर्ड फॉर वर्ड पढ़ने लग गए ना, तो फिर तो कंपनी आपकी डूब जाएगी जहां भी आप मैनेजर होंगे. ओ भाई, वो मैनेजर क्या कर रहा है? नहीं नहीं, he hasn't gotten back to us. अभी he is going through that report which came yesterday and it has 60 pages. 60 pages पढ़ने में वो मैनेजर को भी 4 दिन लगेगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. This is the smartness that is required. Okay, so let's go over to this passage and see कि इसमें when I talk about ये organized reading, mini organized reading जो मैंने बोला, कैसे हो रहा है इसमें. भाई पहला पैराग्राफ तो I'll see. ठीक है, इंटरप्रिटेशंस ऑफ द इंडियन पास्ट. एंड जब मैं मेन आइडिया निकाल रही हूं तो ना मेरा माइंड एकदम क्लियर कर लेती हूँ मैं. रिलैक्स, 1 मिनट में ना कोई दुनिया में कोई बॉम्ब नहीं फट जाएगा, अर्थक्वेक नहीं आ जाएगा, वोल्केनो नहीं आ जाएगा. मुझे मेन आइडिया तो लेना ही लेना है, एंड देन आई विल डू माय मिनी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड रीडिंग. Interpretations of the Indian past were inevitably influenced by colonial concerns. colonial लोगों ने नहीं किया, इंग्लिश ब्रिटिशर्स ने नहीं किया, colonial concerns से influenced रहे हैं. इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बोले तो पूरी दुनिया ही इन्फ्लुएंस्ड रही है ब्रिटिशर्स से. ये सब मेरे दिमाग में आया आज पढ़ते टाइम. एंड इंटरेस्ट एंड ऑल्सो बाय प्रेवलेंट यूरोपियन आइडियाज अबाउट हिस्ट्री ओरिएंट. ओहो, इसमें ना सब मुझे दिख रहा है, यूरोपियन ओरिएंट एंड ऑल. ओरिएंटलिस्ट स्कॉलर्स. हाँ, मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन एक क्वेश्चन था इस पे. Okay, so let me just kind of check the main idea. Studied the languages, text selected Indian scholars, but made okay, fine, the readings okay, disjuncture okay. तो पहला पैराग्राफ के बाद, मतलब पहला पैराग्राफ में ऑथर ने बोला कि इंडियन पास्ट has been interpreted in various ways, but they have always been affected by the colonial thing. यही बोला है इसने पहले लाइन में. एंड इसमें ओरिएंट, यूरोपियन सब कुछ का इंक्लूड किया, ओरिएंटलिस्ट स्कॉलर्स का कुछ किया. इन द लास्ट लाइन इज नॉट हैप्पी. वो कह रहा है देयर इज अ डिसजंक्चर from the traditional ways of looking at the Indian past. अच्छा भाई, टोन समझ में आ रहा है मुझे. Now I just go down and I check the first line of every paragraph. Orientalism, which can understand broadly as Western perceptions, fuel the fantasy. Okay. अच्छा, इसमें ना यूरोपियन रोमांटिसिज्म, ओरिएंटलिज्म, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. ओके, नियो क्लासिसिज्म, ये सब हम पढ़ चुके थे. फाइन, रेनेसांस, ओके, पोएट्स का नाम है. दैट्स इट, आई डोंट नीड टू लुक फर्दर. Go down. Next paragraph में ना the first line gives me the tone. However, this enthusiasm, so that means इसके पहले वाला जो पैराग्राफ मैंने अभी जंप किया ना, उसमें enthusiastic था बहुत ज्यादा, and he was talking about ऐसा ऐसा हुआ, ये poets का नाम था, so वो लोग influence हुए होंगे. However, this enthu gradually changed to confirm. ये FIRM नहीं है, FORM. Confirm means obey or follow, with the emphasis later in the 19th century on the innate superiority. अच्छा, तो उसमें पोएट शायद कुछ और तरीके से इंटरप्रेट कर रहे होंगे, बट इसमें तो यू नो finally they came to like they got influenced by the European ways and by the colonial ways or whatever. Okay, so the author is not very happy, I think. Okay, go down. Then German romanticism endorsed this image of India, became the mystic land. Okay, इसमें German romanticism का है, जाने दो भाई, आएंगे इस पे बाद में. The last paragraph, I never ever leave the last paragraph. It was a consolation to the Indian intelligentsia. Intelligentsia, अच्छा, जो intelligent group होता है, जो you know literati होता है, fine. For its perceived inability to counter the, अच्छा, consolation word है something the author is like not very happy about something. Okay, to counter the technical superiority of the West. Okay, technical एक question था. Okay, right, fine. Superiority, okay, colonize Asia and other parts of the world. Okay, fine. At the height of anti-colonial nationalism, it acted as a salve for having been made a colony of Britain. अच्छा, भले ही पूरा समझ ना आए, as a student, you are supposed to read the last paragraph and the words should echo in your mind. Okay, cool, fine, chalo. So let me go down to the questions now. Okay. Yash Gupta, 93 plus percentile. Okay, okay, okay. हो जाना चाहिए यश, जस्ट वेट फॉर द रिजल्ट्स, क्योंकि नॉर्मलाइजेशन होगा. ओके, नाउ कम डाउन टू द क्वेश्चंस. Which one of the following styles of research is most similar to the Orientalist scholars' method of understanding Indian history and culture? ओके, अभी इसमें भाई देखो आप, पहला वाला पैराग्राफ में, एंड बिफोर गोइंग ओवर टू द पैराग्राफ आई जस्ट स्नीक पीक्ड एट द ऑप्शंस। मुझे दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, अरे भाई ये तो ना एप्लीकेशन क्वेश्चन है। लाइफ ऑफ अमेरिकन सेटलर्स, ओके, एनालाइजिंग हॉलीवुड एक्शन मूवीज, ये तो है ही नहीं, आर्टिफैक्ट्स, ओके। सो दिस इज एन एप्लीकेशन क्वेश्चन, this is definitely going to take me time if I'm a student. Still, I'm going to just check once, and if it takes me time, I'm going to skip this. अभी तक का मैंने सोचा है कि भाई मैं तो ये डेफिनेटली करूंगी, ये सोचा था मैंने, but again the point comes over here, you have to be flexible while you're solving your paper. If you're not flexible, you will get stumped by one question, जैसे अभी ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 दिखा रही हूं मैं आपको. So I go over to the paragraph and I see यहाँ बोला है, influenced by colonial concerns and interests and also by prevalent European ideas, okay, Orientalist scholars studied the languages and texts with selected Indian scholars. ठीक है, selected वाला किया, हाँ, Pahuldeep, that's exactly my point. Many students must have goofed up in this, and that is why I'm saying it's always smart to not take it upon your ego, be flexible, dump it and move on. अभी ये पढ़ने के बाद आप देखो, but made little attempt to understand the worldview of those who were teaching them. अच्छा, तो मतलब ये क्या कह रहा है कि selected Indian scholars को उठाया Orientalist scholars ने, but they did not try to understand the worldview of those जो पढ़ा रहे थे, ये जो actual roots थे. The readings therefore are not apt. ये बोला है इसने. Now if I go down to the question, I feel stumped. By इसमें बोला reading about the life of early American settlers and later waves of migration to understand the evolution of American culture. Understand the evolution, नहीं नहीं, उसने कहा है जो पढ़ा रहे हैं उनका नहीं, they did not read, they did not study those people जो पढ़ा रहे थे, तो evolution से तो related कम ही किया ना, so this is opposite. एक तो eliminate हो गया मेरा, fine, because I understood वहां क्या बोला है कि जो roots हैं, जो मे बी डायरेक्टर है मूवी का, उनको आप नहीं ले रहे हैं, यू आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेक अ फ्यू फिल्म एक्टर्स एंड उनको आप स्टडी कर ले रहे हैं, जो एक्चुअली जो भेज रहा है वो चीज, यू आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. ठीक है, सो ऑप्शन 1 इज एलिमिनेटेड बिकॉज इट टॉक्स उल्टा. गो टू ऑप्शन 2, एनालाइजिंग हॉलीवुड एक्शन मूवीज दैट डिपिक्ट वायलेंस एंड सेक्स टू अंडरस्टैंड कंटेम्पररी अमेरिका. तो इसमें रूट और एवोल्यूशन तो कुछ है ही नहीं. Okay. Option 3, studying artifacts excavated at a palace to understand the lifestyle who lived there. पहले जो रहते थे, नहीं तो पहले वाले से तो ऊपर वाला कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर रहा है ना, तो दिस इज ऑल्सो उल्टा. सो आई एम एबल टू एलिमिनेट दिस. नाउ आई एम लेफ्ट विद 2 and 4. Reading 18th century accounts by travelers to India to see how they viewed Indian life and culture of the time. Now, because I understood the top part very well, that it is talking about roots and कौन भेज रहा है, कौन कर रहा है, I can see that 1, 3 and 4 are getting eliminated. But how does option 2 fit the bill if I'm trying to analyze it as a student? Right? वंशिका, कैट के पहले ये क्वेश्चंस करवा देने चाहिए थे, यही वाले, राइट? हाँ, एक्चुअली जब मैंने पेपर बनाया था तो मुझे ध्यान नहीं आया कि मैं पहले ही करवा दूं, लीक कर दूं तो क्या हो जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना. ओके, सही पूछा तुमने वंशिका, कूल. ओके, right. So analyzing Hollywood action movies that depict violence and sex to understand contemporary America, I'm still not able to justify option 2. Why? Because in the paragraph they talk about वो ये पढ़ रहे हैं जो सामने दिख रहा है, actors type, but they are not trying to study the director या जो roots या जो people who are studying them, वो वाला उनको नहीं कर रहा है connect. So although I'm able to eliminate 1, 3 and 4, I'm not happy with option 2. And as a student there, I would not be able to pinpoint the final answer. So within 30 to 40 seconds, a student should have realized that this is a guzzler. You should leave this and move on. Do you guys get this now? कई लोगों ने इसमें टाइम खराब किया होगा, कई लोगों ने इसमें मिस्टेक, wrong answer mark किया होगा. I'm sure about that. Okay, so now I go down to the next question. In context of the passage, all of the following statements are true except we are looking for TTT and 1F. This actually turned out to be easy. This is what I mean by flexibility in the exam hall. इसको मैंने सोचा था नहीं करूंगी क्योंकि ये true false है, vague है. Okay, true except, तो एक में word play होगा, the remaining 3 will be good. Check option 1, Orientalist scholarship influenced Indians, ये तो बोला ही है passage में. Indian texts influenced Orientalist, दोनों बोला है. इतना तो मिनी ऑर्गेनाइज रीडिंग में दिख गया कि भाई इंडियन टेक्स्ट ने लेकर के ओरिएंटलिस्ट आगे बढ़े, उन लोगों ने स्टडी किया, ओरिएंटलिस्ट स्कॉलरशिप इन्फ्लुएंस्ड इंडियंस, वो भी हुआ है. सो दीज टू आर स्ट्रेट एलिमिनेशंस. आई एम लेफ्ट विद 2 and 3. अब देखो आप इसमें कितना आसान है. ओरिएंटलिस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ इंडियन हिस्ट्री वाज लिंक्ड टू कॉलोनियल कंसर्न्स. ओ भाई ये तो पहला लाइन है. सो डेफिनेटली दिस इज ट्रू. I'm left with option 3, which I can just go back and verify quickly. India's spiritualism served as a salve. Oh, attractive word technique, attractive word trap लगा रहा है यहाँ पे. Go to the last sentence ना and see. At the height of anti-colonialism, colonial nationalism, it act कौन कर रहा था anti-colonial? Indians. It acted as a salve for having been made a colony of Britain. So ये जो भी था ना, reading, study, जो भी that came as a balm. इस इरा में when Indians were suffering from this feeling, this anti-colonial वाला aggression. So 3 क्या बोल रहा है? India's spiritualism served as a salve for European colonizers. No, it served as a salve for the Indian people who had been colonized and उनके दिल में bruises. The ego was bruised and they were feeling hurt about it. So definitely this is out, and here we applied the attractive word trap. क्योंकि मुझे याद था लास्ट पैराग्राफ में salve दिया हुआ था. So this question which we had otherwise expected to be tough turned out to be very, very easy. We go down to the next one. Question 7. Check here. It can be inferred from the passage that the author is not likely to support the view that. भाई वो 3 को support करेगा, 1 को नहीं करेगा. Fine. Let me check the options. India's culture has evolved over the centuries. अपना author proper Indian type लग रहा है, अच्छी अच्छी बातें की हैं इंडिया की उसने. Option 4 तो जाएगा ही जाएगा true में. Option 3. Indian culture acknowledges the material aspects of life. I can go up and verify material. आई एम श्योर कई बच्चों ने मटेरियल ये ऑप्शन 3 को मार्क किया होगा. नाउ आई गो टू ऑप्शन 2. सो आई मेक अ मेंटल नोट ऑफ दिस, कि मुझे ऑप्शन 3 चेक करना है. गो टू ऑप्शन 2. द ओरिएंटलिस्ट व्यू ऑफ एशिया फॉर द इमेजिनेशन ऑफ सम वेस्टर्न पोएट्स. गो बैक एंड चेक, इट इज गिवन देयर. एशिया, western poets, second or third paragraph itself said this. So this is true. So I'm left with options 1 and 3. Now, check option 1. India became a colony although it matched the technical knowledge of the West. Last paragraph had talked about technical knowledge. Go back and check quickly. It was a consolation to the Indian intelligentsia for its perceived inability to counter the technical superiority of the West. A superiority viewed as having enabled Europe to colonize Asia and other parts of the world. This does not mean that India and West का technical knowledge was same. It matched. बिल्कुल भी ये नहीं है. So definitely this is something that cannot be inferred. This is false. I eliminate this. However, many students must have marked 3. 3 में क्योंकि उन लोगों ने गलत समझा. पैराग्राफ में जब आप जाके देखेंगे तो वहां बोला है कि इंडिया में मटेरियल बोला जाता था डोंट चेज मटेरियलिज्म. यूरोपियंस कहते थे मटेरियलिस्टिक मटेरियलिस्टिक. बट क्वेश्चन डज नॉट आस्क यू कि इंडियन कल्चर एक्सेप्टेड और फॉलोड, नहीं, एक्नॉलेज्ड. सो इंडियन कल्चर एक्नॉलेजेस. द पैराग्राफ सेज दैट इंडियन स्टडीज में दोनों इंक्लूड किया गया था कि इंडियन ये था, यूरोपियन ये था. देयर वाज अ डिकोटमी. And this dichotomy was included in the Indian studies. So Indian culture में acknowledge किया जाता था कि materialistic होता है, material aspects होता है, but we Indians are not going to follow that. So that is why option 3 is definitely true. I mean, the author will support it, and option 1 is the answer. Okay, so this one done. Now I take you down to question number 8, जो कि again बहुत ही आसानी से solve हुआ था. It can be inferred from the passage that to gain a more accurate view of a nation's history, scholars should do. Author क्या support करेगा? भाई इसमें तो ना वापस जाने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी आपको. Examine their own beliefs and biases. पूरा passage beliefs and biases का बोला है, so definitely ये होगा. Read widely in the country's literature. ये तो होगा ही होगा, लिटरेचर पे ही तो पूरा पैसेज है. Option 4, examine the complex reality of the nation's society. So I'm going to check complex, but उससे ज्यादा आसान है option 3. Develop an oppositional framework to grasp cultural differences. Cultural differences तो मुझे ठीक लग रहे हैं फिर भी. Okay, to grasp. क्या करना चाहिए? Oppositional framework. This exactly is the word play over here. So oppositional framework you can go and check, and from option 4 you can check complex reality. दोनों में oppositional framework is not indicated anywhere. So definitely this is something that the author would not recommend, would not suggest. Okay, so we are done with question number 8. इसमें से अभी तक मैंने दो क्वेश्चंस छोड़े, one in passage 1 and the other in passage 2. So this is how I feel the paper should have been handled without getting too much into the passages which look totally ekdam devilish. We could have gone ahead and solved with little bit of organized reading and mini organized reading. Okay, now let me just take you down. Okay. Yes, Vanshika. Passage 3 was something about Chicago school. Now I'm just going to show you the questions that were very doable and how I selected. अभी दो passages में मैंने आपको तरीका दिखा दिया. In these two passages, I'm just going to show you कैसे करना था. Question 9. Americans were predominantly a rural population does not contradict. This was a weaken and strengthen question, but superbly easy because it was specific. You go up in the first paragraph, there's a line that's given there. Isme bola hai predominantly a rural, but by the century's midpoint, most lived in urban areas. सब move होने लगे थे rural को छोड़ के. पूछा है which one does not weaken. Okay, that means बाकी तीन जो है वो कह रहे हैं, बाकी तीन options कह रहे हैं कि भाई the people continued living in rural areas. Urban areas में move नहीं हुआ. ठीक है, you go down and you see, ये देखो यहाँ पे size has always been largest in rural areas, यहाँ बोला है इसने. ठीक है, this one here. Then primarily required data from rural areas. Okay, ये population census, more Americans lived in rural areas. सब support, सब weekend कर रहा है उस चीज को. Sentence ने बोला कि सब urban में shift हो रहे थे. ये तीनों ने बोला रूरल रूरल रूरल. दैट मीन्स ये रूरल वाले तीनों सेंटेंसेस वीकेंड कर रहे हैं. वन दैट डज नॉट वीकेंड कैन बी सपोर्टिंग और इट कैन बी न्यूट्रल. चेक ऑप्शन 1. डेमोग्राफिक ट्रांजिशन इन द 20th century स्ट्रांगली मार्क्ड बाय आउट माइग्रेशन. तो ये तो बोल रहा है, ये तो सपोर्ट कर रहा है कि भाई सब रूरल छोड़ करके आउट माइग्रेट हो गए. सो दिस इज द वन. दिस वाज अ वेरी इजी क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग क्वेश्चन. मतलब एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं किया था मैंने कि इतना आसान रहेगा क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग में. Then conclusion by the author. This was very easy. Why? Because आपका rapid population growth and demographic diversity gave rise to social disorganization, crime. The key word was social disorganization, which you could get after reading the first and last paragraphs. Okay, ये देख लो यहाँ पे social disorganization यहाँ here. So after getting the keywords, obviously option 2 is vague. वो eliminate हो जा रहा है. Option 3 is again vague. It's between option 1 and option 4. But social disorganization was the key thing. Rapid population growth and demographic diversity give rise to disorganization and crime increases. That is what the conclusion is. So questions 9 and 10, very, very doable. I go down to question 11 now. Question 11 check करिए. Again, essence बहुत ही आसानी से हो सकता है. यहाँ देखो आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ओके, क्राइम, डिसऑर्गेनाइजेशन, माइग्रेशन, ये कीवर्ड्स थे. जस्ट चेक ओवर हियर. डर्कहिम, मार्क्स, शॉ, चारों पांचों नाम इसने ऑथर्स के दे दिए. वेयर इज द मेन थिंग? माइग्रेशन, आउट माइग्रेशन, क्राइम, डिसऑर्गेनाइजेशन कुछ है ही नहीं. सो फर्स्ट एलिमिनेशन इज ऑप्शन 2. शिकागो स्कूल, नेटिव बॉर्न वाइट्स, immigrants is the only good word over here. Poverty is out. Option 3 is out. I'm left with 1 and 4. 1 and 4 में आप check करो. Social organization and crime, both the words, both the phrases are there in option 1. That is why 1 is the answer. And Chicago school का एक particular study लेकर के बोला गया है पूरे passage में. So option 4 gets eliminated because इसमें segregation, heavy industry, crime ठीक है, but social organization, the hero is missing. That's why question number 11 was easy and option 1 was the answer. Good. Now the last question of this passage. ये मैंने skip किया. I'll tell you why. Which one of the following is not a valid inference? So TTT, तीन इन्फरेंसेस है, तीनों ट्रू होंगे, एक फॉल्स ढूंढ रहे हैं. इसमें कोई भी नेम प्लेस एनिमल वाला टेक्निक नहीं है, स्पेसिफिक नहीं है जो आप जाकर के पिक करके फॉरन वेरीफाई कर सकते हैं. दिस वुड ईट अवे माय टाइम. So instead of taking it upon my ego कि भाई I have solved 3 questions, how can I leave the fourth one? I move on to the fourth passage. So अभी तक का मेरा पैटर्न देख रहे हो. तीनों पैसेज में से लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स I took, the easy ones I took, the sitting ducks I took, and one question I left in every passage. The last one was like the easiest passage with the easiest questions. इसमें मैंने फिर भी एक छोड़ा था. I was following that pattern. ये क्या है भाई? Software improves people, sharpen know-how, again, can technology replace humans? वो वाला कुछ था which we had done in our classes. Go down. It can be inferred that this thing aimlessly clicking around, very specific. You have to just go up, pick from there, and you will get your answer. ठीक है? Question 14. Examples of human-centered automation. Last paragraph talks about human-centered automation. You have to just go to the last paragraph, pick from there. Human-centered automation लिखा है, check your range, ठीक है, set your range, and उसके basis पे आप निकाल सकते थे. वहां पे दिया हुआ human-centered automation बोले तो पूरे passage में ना problem बोल करके, and then there is an alternative. So this passage comes up with a solution. And I had said this earlier that any passage that gives you a solution in the end places the biggest importance on the last paragraph. So इसमें human centered automation इसमें बोला है कि people can be the central zones, they can be the controlling factor. Robots को रखो, but let the reins be in the hands of humans. And if we check the options, तीनों में 1 to 3 में humans are controlling, बाकी bots काम कर रहे हैं. So this is human centered automation as the name suggests. And option 4 is vague. उसमें कोई वो नहीं दिखा रहा आपको कि human control कर रहा है. That's why that's the answer. आपसे accept पूछा है. So super duper easy question. Fine. And then 15. अभी तक इसके दोनों अच्छे थे. From the passage we can infer that the author is apprehensive about the use of sophisticated automation for all the following reasons except. Sophisticated automation is given there in the passage. You have to just go there. वहां पे आपको दिया हुआ है. कंप्यूटर्स कहाँ गया? Stunts the development of its users, stops, ये दूसरे लैंग्वेज में दे रखा है. Computers could replace humans. उसने ऑथर ने ऐसा नहीं सोचा था. This is external knowledge that some students may have applied. So this is there. Now ये easy था. Question number 16. I dumped. Why? Because I felt this would take me a little bit of time. यहाँ देखो. In the Ebola misdiagnosis case, we can infer that doctors probably missed the forest for the trees. Now, I happen to know the meaning of this idiom. If you miss the forest for the trees, what happens? You're not able to see the big picture because you're focusing on micro things. Okay, so when I go back to the paragraph, I can see this particular thing over there. यहाँ पे दे रखा है, देखो. Highly constrained tools, the researchers write, are optimized for data capture, but at the expense of sacrificing the utility for appropriate triage. तो भाई triage और diagnosis होना चाहिए, वो नहीं हो रहा है, and बिल्कुल ही माइक्रो लेवल पे हो रहा है. Highly constrained tools. तो I mean, as an educator, I would be able to do this question, but many students would have gotten confused in this question. So this was a question worth dumping. Why? Because it would take them time. The data collected were not sufficient for appropriate triage. यहाँ पूछा है because, तो उसको interpret करना है. ठीक है? The data collected were not sufficient. Not sufficient की बात नहीं किया है. They were constrained, micro. Okay? Then they were led by the data processed by digital templates. I'm confused. I don't know कि ये होगा कि नहीं. Go to the third one. One is eliminated. Option 1. Option 3 says they use the wrong type of digital templates. Wrong type तो है ही नहीं. Constrained, limited, missing the forest for the trees. Okay, so I know the meaning and that's why I'm able to eliminate. The digital templates force them to acquire tunnel vision. Forced. Extreme. So because of POE techniques, I'm able to eliminate 3 options and I'm left with one which kind of resonates with what is written in the paragraph. They were led by the data, processed by digital templates, and instead of focusing on like the big things, they were just kind of running after that. You can go back. They argue that the digital templates used by the hospital's clinicians probably helped to induce a kind of tunnel vision. So they felt that was being helpful. लेकिन वो actually नहीं था. Got it? So out of these 16 questions, each passage had one guzzler. And maybe in 1 or 2 cases, there could have been 2 guzzlers. So you had to strictly pick the questions, the cherries. Okay. And those of you who went inside the passages and spent time reading probably missed the boat. Okay. So ये मैंने आपको RC का दिखा दिया. All the 16 questions, there were 3 parajumbles. Out of the 3 parajumbles, I'll give you my analysis. Question number 17 was a parajumble, which was very, very clear. 3214, fine. And इसमें हल्का सा शायद किसी student ने mistake किया होगा. Still, I say द क्वेश्चन 17 वाज वेरी क्लियर. देन किसमें प्रॉब्लम, मतलब प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं, आई वुड से थोड़ी सी एम्बिग्विटी स्टूडेंट को हो सकती थी लास्ट क्वेश्चन में, क्वेश्चन 24. ओके, उसमें हैंगिंग हो रहा था. सो थ्री पैराजम्बल्स में से दो तो डेफिनेटली करेक्ट आ रहे थे. एंड हाँ, एक चीज बताऊंगी आपको मेरी एनालिसिस में, आउट ऑफ द थ्री पैराजम्बल्स नन ऑफ देम वर लाइक जिसमें कि टाइम लगेगा, पेयर्स नहीं दिख रहे हैं. फटाफट फटाफट you could form the pairs and you could just take a scribbling sheet and do your pair formation over there and put the answers. Out of the three, one or two had that hanging wala thing. So ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, टीटा था, नेगेटिव नहीं मिलेगा, but you could easily solve at least two pages. Okay, and then this new wala thing jo tha, ye to I saw both the questions were so easy. It was not that level, zat level ya cat level jo complete the paragraph हमने क्लास में प्रैक्टिस किया था ना, बिल्कुल भी वो लेवल नहीं था. दिस वाज लाइक एन इजी टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन जिसमें आपको खाली फ्लो देखना था कि भाई ये चीज कहां पे फिट हो रही है. Got it, guys? And short summaries, so we don't even need to discuss because they were all like pretty clear. What do you say, guys? Now I'm done with the analysis. Mainly you needed help in all the passages, so I'm done with those. If there's anything else that you want to ask me, you can shoot now. I'll reply to your queries. Yes, guys. So as I said in the beginning, I would give it a straight 7 out of 10. Not very tough, definitely, and not easy either. Purposely, they had given such ugly looking passages just to stump the guys, stump the students. But then, if the students are smart and if they my techniques, they have been able to do it. Haha, Shweta, I have great friends. And one of my friends happens to be a very cute little duckling who is a YouTube influencer also. She is Shweta Arora. So the moment I think about her, I think जब वो इतना कर सकती तो मैं भी कर सकती. Shubham, I'm being very honest in this particular analysis. The paper was not on the difficult side. As I said, techniques had to be applied. Okay, strategy आपको apply करना था, आपने इतना पढ़ा था मेरे साथ strategy. So if you goofed up in the paper, it was because you felt panicky. You went inside the passages and you started reading and trying to understand, or you lost track of time. मैं सीरियसली बता रही हूं, मैंने ना चारों पैसेजेस में से एक भी नहीं पढ़ा. I just did my mini organized reading जो मैंने आपको demonstrate किया. This is what I actually did. So जब भाई being an educator, I don't take it upon my ego कि चल भाई पूरा पढ़ना है, पूरा वो करना है, ये है तरीका, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. क्वेश्चंस देखा, क्वेश्चंस देख के पिक किया, भाई ये ऐसे क्वेश्चंस है, क्यों पढ़ना है मुझे, क्यों जानना है मुझे, मेन आइडिया जानना है, वो स्पेसिफिक जोन्स जानना है, फ्लो ले लो, ऑथर का टोन ले लो, बस हो गया. Was there any question which you found wrong in answer key? In slot 3, so far, no Samarth. I solved the entire paper. आपको किस पे डाउट है ये बताइए मुझे समर्थ, कौन सा वाला क्वेश्चन को गोली से उड़ा देना चाहिए? I'll check it right now. 96 overall, 29, 34, 33. VARC ने तुमने 29 स्कोर किया. ओके, 99 percentile. No, you did not mess up VARC. क्या बात कर रहे हो, अभी 29 आया है. And normalization will be there. You can expect +3, -3. माइनस तो कम ही होता है वैसे, +3 पे ही जाएगा. ओके, शुभम सेज आई रियली पैनिक्ड, बट कोई नहीं, अभी जैट में फोड़ने की करेंगे. अच्छा, क्या फोड़ेंगे? नारियल फोड़ेंगे, अपना सर फोड़ेंगे, दोनों में से डिसाइड कर लो. कोशिश करो कि नारियल फोड़ना, पेपर फोड़ना है, अपना सर फोड़ने की नौबत नहीं आनी चाहिए. MSD 7 अभी, यस आई थिंक यू कैन गेट अ कॉल. बट स्टिल आई वुड से वेट फॉर द रिजल्ट. हाँ ठीक है ना अभी, दैट्स ओके. मैन प्रपोजेस गॉड डिस्पोजेस. यू डेफिनेटली गेव इट ऑल यू हैड. तुम क्लास में भी मुझे पता है तुम्हारा, और अभी भी तुमने एग्जाम में भी यू हैव डन कंसिस्टेंटली वेल. यू हैव डन लाइक यू आर अमंग द फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव डन वेल इन ऑल द थ्री सेक्शंस. मतलब इतने आज मैसेजेस और कॉल्स आए हैं कि एक्चुअली आई गॉट अ लिटिल टायर्ड. बट ऑल दोज मैसेजेस हैड वन थिंग इन कॉमन. भाई VARC में कर लिया, डी QA में कर लिया, DI में ऐसा था, ऐसा ऐसा. मतलब दोनों साइड से ऐसा ऊपर और ऐसे, जैसे वाटरफॉल गिरता है ना दोनों साइड से, ऐसा टाइप. सो अब DI में अगर उसने घुमा के दिया है आपको, तो नॉर्मलाइजेशन भी उसी हिसाब से होगा ना. सो जस्ट वेट, रिलैक्स, वेट फॉर द रिजल्ट टू कम. ओके गाइस, अभी इजाजत दो मुझे, चलती हूं मैं. एनालिसिस इज डन. इसके अलावा और कोई भी डाउट्स अगर हैं, यू वांट मी टू टेक अप एनी पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन, और लाइक यू वांट टू पॉइंट आउट दैट दिस इज राइट, दिस इज रॉन्ग, कुछ भी डिस्कस करना है, यू कैन ईदर मैसेज मी और जॉइन मी इन माय क्लासरूम so that I can help you gain that clarity. Yes, you can, Ritik. But मुद्दा क्या है ऋतिक? कैट को एनल करवाना है, या कैट पेपर सेटर को करवाना है, या क्या करना है? पहले आप डिसाइड कर लो किस लिए कॉल करना है. अच्छा, रवि सर से बात करेंगे. DI में एक गलत है, रवि सर से बात करेंगे तो रवि सर मतलब पूरा पेपर कैंसिल करवा देंगे. राइट, दिस इज व्हाट यू गाइस थिंक. या टिकट रेज करेंगे. हम्म. Abhi, thank you so much for saying that. But I really attribute everybody's success to his own determination. So, Ritik, the best thing is to join me in the classes na, tomorrow. I have got a plus session at 11 morning. You can join me then and you can raise hand and talk to me in detail. Okay. Chalo, guys, we are done. Fine. Slot 3 wrapped up. स्लॉट 1 और स्लॉट 2 का भी मेरा एनालिसिस करूंगी मैं, बट प्रोबेबली ऑन अनदर चैनल या प्रोबेबली इन स्पेशल क्लास. ठीक है, सो स्टे ट्यून फॉर दैट. और अगर इसके अलावा कोई स्पेसिफिक डाउट है तो यू कैन रीच आउट एंड टेल मी. बिल्कुल देखा शुभम, सातों के सात हैट्स जो आपने दिए, आई वोर दो 7 हैट्स. ओके, एक एक करके पहन रही थी, फोटो खिंचवा रही थी, फिर उतार रही थी. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दोज 7 हैट्स. दोज displayed your love and it really warmed the cockles of my heart. Thank you, Shubham. Good night, Ritik. Thank you. Okay, yes guys, bye bye.